So welcome back to DecoyNoise and another episode of Am I the Antagonist? And am I the antagonist for giving my daughter $100,000 for a house and not giving my son anything? So as always, we gotta read the story in its entirety. We rush it over to Decoy Court where I give you my knee-jerk reaction. I'll read over some of the top comments and the controversial comments, then I'll read your comments down below, but let's go ahead and get to the story right now. OP wrote, I know the title sounds bad, but please hear me out. I, a 55-year-old male, have two kids, Anna, a 30-year-old female, and Alex, a 27-year-old male. Their mom isn't in the picture. I have a relatively high-earning job, so I was able to save up for both of them to go to college, which amounted to about $100,000 for each kid. The thing is, Anna got a full scholarship for college where both her tuition fees and her living expenses were paid for, but I had to pay for my son's education and living expenses with the money I saved up. Both my children knew I had $100,000 for their college education, but since my daughter got a full ride, I told her I'll hold on to it until either she wants to use it for her wedding or a down payment for a house. So last week, Anna asked for the money to buy a house, and I gladly gave it to her, but a few days later, I got an angry call from Alex accusing me of favoritism, and now I'm being unfair. I explained to him that I just gave her the college fund I was saving up for her, which was the same amount as what I had given him for college. He still thinks I should have split the money evenly so it would be more fair. I have no idea how he knew about it, but I think my wife, their stepmom, told him. Anna has since told me that her brother has been calling her every now and then demanding his half of the money, so both of my kids are fighting now. My wife told me that I'm being a bit unfair and that the money is tearing the family apart. I told her that it was always Anna's money, and I already gave Alex his share to pay for college expenses. Both kids are college educated with good jobs, so it's not like Alex desperately needs the money. So Reddit, am I the antagonist? I think splitting the money would be very unfair to Anna, who worked very hard to get her scholarship, but what do you guys think? Edit, I spent a bit over $100,000 on Alex's education because not only did I pay for his tuition fees, but I also paid for his rent, bills, food, and everything in between. So he's wondering if he's the antagonist, so we gotta rush the case over to Decoy Court where I give you my knee-jerk reaction to this situation, and honestly, this is truly the age of entitlement where his son gets a free ride to college and now has a college degree and perceivably a path to a better future. They say he has a good job, and he's in the top 10% of the country, no matter what country this story is taking place into. And I mean, even occurring in he's in the top 10% no matter whatever country this is taking place in, and maybe the top 1% of this worldwide. So you know what? Let's go even further in the situation where he's like, let's compare him to every human being that ever lived ever. He's got a college diploma and the age of indoor plumbing, smartphones, and all-you-can-eat buffets. You know, he has absolutely zero things to complain about right now, but his entitlement is just off the scale right now when he sees, hey, I'm being taken care of, but, you know, I gotta throw a temper tantrum to daddy because I see my sister's getting something nice right now, you know, like, throughout the whole idea that they got the same treatment due to the scholar situation, the son is almost 30 years old, acting like those kids on MTV's My Super Sweet 16 right now, just throwing his little fit, you know. The wife says OP's tearing the family apart with the money, but it's like, no, the son is tearing the family apart with his entitlement. So, if I was OP, I wouldn't even explain to the son why he received his 100K already and he's not going to get another 50K. It's just, I would put my foot down and say, hey, I want you to think long and hard on what you're asking for right now from your sister. And if you don't understand that, I feel sorry for you. But, you know, before we cast judgment, I get, what's the decoy defense? You know, maybe the son had a scholarship too, but then the daughter got pregnant, so instead of going on his full ride scholarship at Harvard, the son stayed back to help take care of the daughter at home and the kid, and when the daughter's kid needed a new kidney, he was a match, so the son gave up his kidney, but the kid didn't make it, so after lots of recovery and hardship, the son's able to take his money, graduate college, and get his degree in dubstep dance theory, and is having a rough time finding a really good job. And this, and only this situation, would make the son not the antagonist, but we only gotta judge OP here, and obviously he's not the antagonist. I guess we can consider that, you know, maybe OP's the antagonist for not teaching the son better between right and wrong, just and unjust, but nah, he raised two college graduate students, like, you know, good on him. Unfortunate that now sometimes doing something nice makes you the bad guy. Like, you know, if he had $0 to give both the kids, they wouldn't be fighting right now, but that's a terrible sentiment to take home. But I mean, we'll take a short break. I want to hear what you guys are thinking down below in the comments before we read the top and the controversial comments, but also make sure you subscribe down below because sometimes you guys get lost in the shuffle when you don't see me in the feed, even if you watch every single video ever. But Let's go ahead and read the top reply, which is not the antagonist. Assuming Alex did in fact get his $100,000, which is true. And then the OP came back to say, I added some information. He got more than $1,000 because I paid for everything, including his living expenses, which is kind of a sad thing where you just put him in this mode of just entitlement where it's like, okay, well, all college is paid for, all my living expenses paid for. I imagine he didn't need to work a job while in college, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, now I should get a house now too just because I'm me or something. But let's go ahead and read the next top comment, which got gold, where they said, not the antagonist. In theory, your son could have $100,000 on his house too if he had gotten a scholarship. He sounds like he has an entitlement problem, which is unfortunate because you did a lot to set him up nicely in life. My mom didn't even get me a wedding present because she couldn't afford it, and I don't even care because she did a good job at raising me and providing for me. It's a shame your son doesn't realize how good he has it. Which is sad, and you don't want to attack OP saying, oh, you did a terrible job raising your kid because he doesn't realize how good he has, but it's just messed up. He's just totally not appreciative and feels entitled to everything else going on in the world. But let's go ahead and read the replies to that, saying this should be a higher comment, so true. And then also what I think got stuck there. My computer is just not doing a good job keeping up with recording and all that other stuff. I need to get a new computer. But let's go ahead and read the next reply, saying, so you spent $100,000 on your son's education and $100,000 on your daughter's house, and now your son's saying that's unfair? I'm guessing your son's education didn't include any math classes. So, I mean, yes, that's funny and it's good to have that here, but I hate to try to blast the kid for the son for, you know, being a jerk or whatever. And yeah, the next reply to that was like, this comment made me laugh, so I don't want to blast anybody and make them feel bad. This isn't, we're looking for positive advice and maybe some jokes, but not attacking anybody. But also, that's just me being very, very, very contradictory because I always blast these people. But let's go ahead and read the next reply, which is, not the antagonist. You told the kids how much money you'd save for each of them and that it was to pay for college. Your son is acting like an entitled jerk, which is true. And I wish that this thing would work. I'm having computer problems right now. Next reply was, not the antagonist. You gave $100K to both your kids. One spent it on his college, the other spent it on his down payment for a house. Your son is the antagonist here. Which, okay, so I feel like as we go along, everybody's going to say the same thing about fair share and just say, they're all going to blast the brother. So maybe we can find something in the controversial place where they give us a different perspective as to maybe why the kid isn't the antagonist. But, you know, I'm required to do the decoy defense on this channel. I don't even know why right now, but I just try to give them the defense, and that was absurd in itself of me trying to defend that kid. So hopefully maybe something in the controversial section will give us a little bit of something. I don't know. Well, let's go ahead and read the top controversial comment, which is, no antagonist here. I'm going against the grain here, it seems, but $100,000 used to be to pay for college isn't the same as $100,000 for a house. Was it ever expressed to both when growing up this money was there for them and they'd get it even if they didn't have to pay for college? Or is it expressly always stated as a college fund? That makes a difference. To Alex, it looks like they both had money earmarked for college, but now his sister has been giving a house on top of it. Unless you made it perfectly clear to him that he got a scholarship too, he'd get the money for other reasons. I don't call him the antagonist here. I don't think you're the antagonist here either. Could be worth telling Alex you're willing to help him with future down payments too, not the $100,000, but at least something. And here's something that I 100% just don't agree with at all, because the idea is you're coddling this kid, giving him free college, free boarding, free living expenses, and he's getting everything in the world, and just because he just doesn't know how to understand that life isn't fair, maybe he didn't need to know the money wasn't earmarked for college or whatever rationale you need, F that. He's doing okay right now. We don't need to reward him for being a spoiled brat. Like, you know what? I wasn't very clear with the way we set that money aside. So you know what? You got me there. You got me, son. I wasn't fair to you. So here's another like 20K because you got me on a technicality. That's a terrible lesson to teach your kids because you obviously put him down a path of not really understanding the world or whatever. But let's go ahead and read a reply to that saying, someone saying this, oh my god, this. I can't believe I scrolled this far to see someone finally see the one that agreed with me. There was so much hate towards Alex, but I would be kind of upset too if it was only a college fund. So maybe this is just something that I'm not accustomed to, seeing people that are just receiving $100,000 from their parents because of college or this or that or whatever. Honestly, it's just, that's such entitlement. Like, these two people here just make me feel like they're also entitled. I don't want to attack or brigade anybody, but just the idea that they just think that, hey, if you catch your parents on some weird technicality, you are entitled to more money because they didn't explicitly give you a contract saying that, hey, the money, the $100,000 I gave you, it has to be fair no matter what. That's ridiculous to me. But someone got negative 11 points replying to that, and also said, if I can get it to load right now, because the computer is just freaking out right now. This guy said, I was downvoted to heck for a similar thought. Maybe because I said you're the antagonist, lol, but I agree. So people are really blasting OP for giving both of his kids $100,000 plus to live better lives. I think that everybody needs to let that sink in for a second. There are people online that, I'm going to scroll away. I don't want people doing this or whatever, but there are people online that will say you're the bad guy because you didn't specifically say why you're getting $100,000. Like, what? But let's go ahead and read a next reply to that saying, this is what I've been wondering. It's not that I think that OP's the antagonist, it's just that I'm wondering how many options were presented to the kids. The I'll pay for college might be interpreted as to I'll pay for what's needed for college, not I have this money squirreled away specifically for this purpose. And with scholarships, the daughter needed less for college. I'm not saying she didn't work for those, I'm sure she did, but scholarships don't get handed out to everyone. And not everyone can get them. I mean, there are only so many scholarships to go around, right? People here accusing OP's son of not getting scholarships due to laziness or not trying, etc. When did OP didn't exactly say that was the case. Also, it's important to know, did OP say before college that he would pay for what's needed to college, or did he tell both kids, you each have $100,000 set up for you in adulthood? It's up to you if you spend this on college, a car, a wedding, a house, whatever. Because those are two very different scenarios that can lead to very different decisions. It's this weird thing where they're trying to justify it, saying like, if you gotta explicitly talk to these kids, which are probably like what, 15 years old at the time they're making the decisions whether they're gonna take college. I'm sorry, are they gonna take high school super seriously, try to become valedictorian to get scholarships, or be very into some sort of sport or whatever that's gonna make a college give them a full ride. And they're going to think that that's going to interpret, or that's going to determine how hard they're going to try in sports or academics or whatever is going to give them a full ride because of this $100,000 they may or may not get later on, or they can bank. This is ridiculous to me, but I always try not to go too hard on people, but I don't know, I just can't see this is how you could be the bad guy giving your kids six figures to live a better life. This reminds me of that other story where the father got blasted because he gave, what was it, like $10K to both his kids to buy a car, but because his stepmom or something was willing to put to match his 10K. One kid got a 20K car, another kid got a 10K car, and everybody on the line was super quick to blast OP, saying, you're terrible, why does one get a nicer car than the other? It's because one has two parents and the other one doesn't. Like, it's not his fault for the kids, the according step parents or half parents or whatever you want to call it, I'm drawing a blank right now, have a different financial situation. He's giving them money. Everybody should be happy. I can't imagine this is the lesson we want to learn right now, but maybe I'm just being angry DecoyNoise. Maybe I want that 100K myself, and maybe I just don't like people that come across super entitled. I don't know. Earn yourself that Decoy coin by giving me your feedback down below, telling me what you kind of think it is. Also, make sure you subscribe down below because the notifications have to be on, because I'm hearing that people watch all my content but still don't see any DecoyNoise videos in their feed. It's kind of a modern miracle. But as always, I like to appreciate everybody watching all the content, hanging out with me. It's a fun time still, even though sometimes I kind of get mad at these people for being what I think is ridiculous. Maybe you do too, maybe you don't. Whatever it is, just make sure you put this on autoplay and watch the next episode of DecoyNoise coming up next.